Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another segment from the podcast version of the Podheads web show. Visit thepodheads.com for more of all your Podheads.
This just popped into my head. I remember when we went to that World Scout thing, and Scott Storch was saying, back then you only had so many sounds to work with. And it's ironic because the newer generation's having trouble coming up with original beats, but they have more sounds than you could ever possibly imagine. But these guys with limited sounds, still you can't touch them.
No, that's very true.
So imagine if these guys back then had what we had today.
Imagine that, right? Imagine the DJs back then. They literally had to do the physical act to make those noises while these kids have buttons. Hundreds of buttons, and they can't touch them. They can't touch it. You have to do something like a Marshmallow or the other crazy DJs. But even then, I bet you they'll take inspiration from the old DJs, the old samples, some of their stuff, because they understand, they pay homage, they understand that without them, without that infrastructure, you said Snowball, I say it's a building, but without that base, without that foundation of early rappers, you wouldn't be there. I mean, you said it, like, early hip hop and real rap was real shit, right? If rap started maybe today, it wouldn't be that way. Right?
I mean, people don't understand, like, some of the biggest players in the industry right now. Snoop Dogg, everybody loves Snoop Dogg, right? It's cool to like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg faced a murder charge back in the day, right? That murder was the case, was real shit, bro. He was facing doing life in prison on some shit. Jay-Z faced, stabbing charges. Biggie Smalls faced gun charges. A lot of these guys really went to jail. You've seen Eminem's whole life played out in his music and on TV. So a lot of these guys, it's not a game for them, but these guys paved the way. Yeah.
Without that story, that foundation, you would not have. I would even argue country. I like country these days because it has a little hip hop flavor.
Little bit in there.
They do.
Little Nas X.
Yeah. Georgia, Florida line. They got me bobbing my head sometimes.
Okay, sure.
There that I know came from rap and hip hop. So my point is,
the point is we don't let them hoes. Snoop Dogg
music,
right
though.
here.
I mean, some of those beats you can listen to if you're angry, chilling, depressed. Like, that's what's so cool. Even that song, Gin and Juice, like, you can listen to that in any mood. Some other artists, you have to be a certain way, right? Like, I'm not going to listen to Eminem if I'm trying to relax. Like, no.
I get what you're saying. Mood music. This is iconic, right? Gin and Juice, you hear it in the background. Everybody knows that. Rolling down the street, still smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, right? Iconic right here. For over 30 years, guys, this has been a hit. Dr. Dre, Vic Mensa, guys, Biggie Smalls, 50 Cent, Young Buck, all sampled this song. Come on.
These are names today, still that have been 30 years in the game. Like, we talked about off base, like talking about cross generational music. What it takes to be liked by a bunch of different generations. They've kind of come.
And let's focus on this beat for a second, because we've heard all the other beats and they have a different sound. I love that West Coast sound, bro. It's just something about that. Yeah,
And that's Dre, right?
Yeah, dude. And even that, I'm trying to remember exactly what that's from. I can find it and put it in the notes. But even that's just, yeah, exactly. That part right there. That's from, sample from somewhere else. So, yeah. Iconic, guys. Iconic, for sure.
Crazy, right? Because those guys, I mean, kind of speaking out of my ass again, I guess, because I didn't grow up really with the music, but when you take that album with Dre and Snoop, like, just the sounds are so different and so iconic, and just, I don't know, to me, changed it, right? Because like you said, all these weird sounds and things you never really heard before, and it was on the West Coast, so
Yeah.
It's just cool, man. It's cool how a handful of dudes literally paved the way. I mean, how many fucking rappers are there really? Hundreds?
Without them, we wouldn't have rap and hip hop. We might have something else. I'm not taking away from the art or artists, but without these guys that blend, literally, we're in war in sometimes situations.
Like I gotta listen to some songs now. Like I had Keep Their Heads Ringing is playing in my fucking head now because I just love that. Ring, ding, dong. Yeah. God damn it.
If this episode hasn't inspired you to go and want to listen to music, you're crazy. But I like doing stuff like this because it just gives you an example, just a little bit. The information that you can find this from is on whosampled.com. If you want to see for yourself, I just want to give you guys a list of the most sampled people because I want to give some honorable mentions to some people that we didn't go over their music during. James Brown already is on the top of the list with 7451 samples. We did Public Enemy, Beside, Run DMC, Notorious B.I.G., Kool and the Gang, 1,564 samples. Jay-Z, 1,484 times sampled. Eric B. and Rakim, 1,423 times sampled. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. I couldn't find the song during the show, and I didn't want to slow things up. But these guys, bro, if you haven't, I promise you, if you've heard anything in the 90s, if you've heard anybody beatboxing, if you've heard anything like that, it's Dougie Fresh. Slick Rick, I promise you, from Snoop Dogg to Justin Timberlake, they have been inspired by Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. So, definitely Google those guys if you never heard those names before. Nas sampled 1,333 times. NWA sampled 1,116 times. Isaac Hayes, guys, sampled 1,092 times. And Kanye West sampled 989 times, which I wonder if he sampled more or been sampled.
Right. That's a good question. Probably very similar, maybe.
Yeah. Can you think of any other big hits that you've heard recently that have been inspired by anybody we didn't talk about today? Leave something in the comments. Subscribe if you don't subscribe. We appreciate all the love and support, guys, at the Podheads Web Show on all social media. At Podheads Web Show on all social media. thepodheads.com. That's Podheads. A lot of big things coming, folks. We're working on our store. We're working on moving around and doing some more things post-COVID. So stay tuned to our channel. Shout out to the guys from the sneaker division.
Hey, yo.
Jeremy and C's out there doing big things. If you like what we do, if you like sneakers, check those guys out. They're pretty cool. WJHM102jams.com, Rock 100, WDIZ, Steel Waves, Pay the Bills.
Yeah. Who else want it? Get on it. Thepodheads.com. Thepodheads.com. We're burning on both ends of the blunt. Literally, guys. We're trying, but we're still here. We're going to keep coming for you guys. Yeah, see money. Take us out.
Like I said, I was going to listen to podcasts. Now I got to listen to some music, get out of my system. Music heals the soul, man. It's good for any emotion, so get on it.
Yeah, man. All right, then. It's the Podheads, baby. We'll see you next time, guys. Peace.
What's crazy, it shows you how much of a badass James Brown was, because James Brown, I think, still beats all of those people combined. He had 7,500. That shows you how much of a badass that dude was.
That's the legal ones. Like,
that's the ones counted, right? That we know of.
How many underground artists?
A lot.
That's a great point, Simone. I'm glad you said that. Almost all of those artists don't amass how many times James Brown. Just goes to show you how big his catalog was and how huge of an influence he was, right? I mean, I still remember watching things like, he was just over the top, right? I just
outfit,
flashy dance. You may not even be able to understand what he was saying, but it was.
I would not be
awesome.
mad in saying that James Brown was a turning point in music. Like, just in the 60s, he was. And the sampling kind of proves it. Like, his performance, his music, his lyrics, his voice, his everything about him was so different. It turned, and now the 70s became James Brown was the 70s. Like everything was James Brown. The 70s was James Brown. James Brown was the 70s. Like that's my point.
He was. I mean, you can watch videos of him dancing and shit, dude. It's unreal how fast he would move those feet and shit. Just fuck, man. And then he did the Africa, that humongous African tour. You can still YouTube. There's like hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah, fuck.
Incredible, bro.
Savage.
Yeah, beloved by many. He's definitely in the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, I feel like hip hop should create their own Hall of Fame. I don't know. There probably already is a hip hop Hall of Fame, and I'm probably speaking out of my ass. But I feel like hip hop should create a Hall of Fame if there isn't already one, because by far hip hop is a culture. I remember my brother Samu. Shout out to my brother. He argued that in like his 10th, 11th grade class, that hip hop was a culture. And it is, right? People dress, it's the way you act, it's the way you dance, it's the way you talk. And all that comes from influence, right? You don't get any of that without seeing it somewhere else. So I hope that you guys got something from this episode. You know, I hope you learned something, or at least got a little entertainment by it. This is just a little bit more, what's for store, what the Podheads are planning on doing, little things like this, having fun. See, Money, did you get educated? Did you enjoy this?
It made me, I was gonna listen to a podcast, but now I have to listen to some songs to get it out of my system.
Definitely. You should do that. You should jam out, light an L. Unfortunately, you can't, but I hope you can soon. But I know you said you're over it for now. Sometimes it's good to take a little break. But if you're out there watching, roll something up, maybe kick back and think about some of your favorite artists. If you heard them here, go back and listen to some of their inspirations.
Marijuana makes a lot of things better, and it definitely makes music listening much better. Like you get in the zone, you close your eyes, put some headphones on. Absolutely, put some headphones on and listen to whatever it is you're listening to, and I think you'll appreciate it more. You'll intake it more, man. Just like, feel that.
Absolutely.
Especially when you got good headphones, man, where you can hear every little fucking.
I said it earlier, every song I believe has like every good song has hundreds of different noises on there, and a good way to get that noise to your ear is important. You know what I mean? So
records, man, buy used records. Vinyls? I love to buy old vinyls. You know, I got my record player, and I love to listen to some old school oldies. I've got some nice old albums.
When I'm rich, I'm gonna get the big ass one, right, with the regular
with the horn.
With the big old horn. It's called
gramophone.
Gramophone. That's exactly what it's called. That's what I'm gonna get. A big one, like. Obnoxiously big. Like I'm gonna have to get it from a mammoth tusk or some shit.
Imagine. I don't think civilization would exist if music never existed.
I said it. It's in the brain. Like I'll admit like this. We talk about how our kids were asking a counselor or a psychologist, whatever. Long story short, it's very difficult to remember math equations. But it's very easy to remember songs. You might have listened to a song you listened to 20 years ago a million times, and you memorize it. 20 years later, you hear it once, and you know it perfectly from the beginning. You'll never forget.
Oh, I can listen in many cases, like the first one or two beats in a song,
you already
and
know
I know
it.
exactly what
exactly.
it is.
It's ingrained in our psyche, in our brain, like music, legit beats in rhythms and noises. I mean, we feel it in our body, bro. You go a little salsa dancing, bro, you get in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's in us, bro. Music is very important. You're right. Civilization as we know it would never have progressed if it wasn't for music.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way back, and I'm my closing thing, all the way back to Mozart, Bach, and Beethoven. I'm sure some of these rappers even reference those guys because, again, that was all there was back then. I've listened, and Spotify's got some of those. So again, you put good headphones on and you hear that dun 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 dun, dun like all that. You're just like,
oh,
your head blows up, bro.
Yeah. So intricate. What gets me, and since we're finished because we do gotta run, but what really gets me is the originals, right? Like it's easy. We said it earlier. Maybe it's easy to sample, right? It's easy to find inspiration. Maybe not so easy to create new art from it, but it's easy to say, oh, that sounds cool. I want to use that. What blows my mind is how these people came up with it from scratch, right? How people like Mozart just decide, I'm just going to do this, blah, 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 and it's going to, you know, and these guys orchestrated entire symphonies, right? They wrote music for everything.
Beethoven was deaf.
That's true. How do you do that? All right. So,
but to keep it hip hop, We gotta go
to
see what some of these guys just decide to take a record, start scratching it, take synthesizers. I mean, like this isn't like this was purposeful. You know what I'm saying? And to see that this stuff was created, right? Was created from nothing. That's what blows my mind, right? A guitarist, right? Eddie Van Halen. That shit kind of blows my mind.
See, Money said it's in us. It's feeling. It's what feels good. Nina Simone, bro, like she felt her music. Like it's the feeling.
That's good.
And that's how. That's what it is. Just the feeling.
She's another, I'm sure, big inspiration.
Oh, I bet. Especially Beyonce and all them. Absolutely.
A lot of the girls, But hey, man, I'll say like Dre did: lay back in the shack and play that track. It's something
Smoke
to
a
it.
doobie, roll up. And listen to some music. Whatever you choose, listen to it. Let us know what you listen to.
Yes, comment, like, share. And if you comment, I want you to go here and let us know what you're listening to. Did we miss anybody? Can you think of any other big hits that other people can you think of any other big hits that you've heard recently that have been inspired by anybody we didn't talk about today? Leave something in the comments. Subscribe if you don't subscribe. We appreciate all the love and support, guys. At the Podheads Web Show on all social media. At Podheads Web Show on all social media. thepodheads.com. That's Podheads. A lot of big things coming, folks. We're working on our store. We're working on moving around and doing some more things post-COVID. So stay tuned to our channel. Shout out to the guys from the sneaker division.
Hey, yo.
Jeremy and C's out there doing big things. If you like what we do, if you like sneakers, check those guys out. They're pretty cool. WJHM102jams.com, Rock 100, WDIZ, Steel Waves, pay the bills.
Yeah. Who else want it? Get on it. Thepodheads.com. We're burning on both ends of the blunt. Literally, guys. We're trying, but we're still here. We're going to keep coming for you guys. See Money. Take us out.
Like I said, I was going to listen to podcasts. Now I got to listen to some music, get out of my system. Music heals the soul, man. It's good for any emotion, so get on it.
Yeah,
man.
All right, then. It's the Podheads, baby. We'll see you next time, guys. Peace.